Our next speaker is Samantha Poirier. Samantha is 22 years old and originally from Medford. Samantha currently lives in Haverhill, where she is working on her education. She received her associate's degree in liberal arts with a major in writing from Northern Essex Community College this past June. Samantha began working on her bachelor's degree in September at UMass Lowell with a double major in psychology and English. She hopes to become an expressive therapist one day. Currently, Samantha works as a peer mentor at Highfields and a lifeguard and swim instructor at the YMCA. Samantha enjoys swimming, reading, writing, listening to music, and watching movies. Her favorite author is Ellen Hopkins and has read all of her books. Samantha listens to all kinds of music, especially Nirvana, and enjoys movies, especially those that take place in Boston.
I'm a little nervous, so is this good?
Yep.
Okay. I would like to start off by saying how honored I am to speak here today. I stand here before you because of the countless people who showed me my worth and took the time into investing a better life for me. When I was 13, I went through a traumatic event that turned my world upside down, sending me into a downward spiral that would last nearly 6 years. I stopped trying and I stopped caring. I became insensitive to others' feelings and never acknowledged my own. I no longer cared about my future, and at times I hoped I wouldn't have one. The dreams I once had for my life were completely erased. Everything I had once loved didn't seem to matter anymore. I was struggling to accept what had happened to me. Instead of properly dealing with my emotional issues, I began engaging in self-harming behaviors. I always felt like I was battling myself. The old me who was happy, outgoing, strong, intelligent, and caring, versus the new me who was angry, insensitive, victimized, and struggling. Life eventually became too much for me to bear. I was hospitalized at 14 for the first time and subsequently diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. That year, I would be hospitalized 4 more times and additionally diagnosed with bipolar disorder. It seemed as though things continued to get worse, despite being on medication and going to therapy. I'm not gonna lie, I was extremely resistant to treatment. I didn't want to confront my past or stop my maladaptive behaviors. I was ashamed of my struggles and tried my hardest to hide them from my friends and family. I tried to act like everything was normal and that I was this energetic young girl still, but I wasn't. After spending nearly 4 months in an inpatient hospital, I transferred to an IRTP. I would stay there for nearly 2 years, making some progress before being sent to a residential. While living at this residential, I was in a really bad place. I attempted suicide 3 times while living there and was hospitalized an additional 6 times. I didn't care about myself or my life. I was stuck in this mindset that constantly told me I was worthless and undeserving of happiness. I used this as a reason to increase my suffering. I always put myself down. I wouldn't accept praise or recognition. I mutilated my body over and over. I was ultimately transferred to yet another IRTP after spending over 2 months on an inpatient unit. Though it was during that 2-month stay that things began to change. My medications were stabilized, and for the first time I felt like I could see clearly. It was at Chauncey Hall Academy where I graduated high school, something I had always felt for so long wouldn't happen. I began to earn time in the community on my own. This was a big deal considering I hadn't had time for myself in nearly 4 years. I continued to struggle with self-harm despite all my successes though. I'm not sure of the exact date things truly changed, but I will never forget the feeling. I was sitting in my room looking at the locked windows, wondering how I got to this place. I looked down at myself and couldn't believe all the damage I had done over the years. I broke down. I couldn't believe how much I destroyed my own body, that I willingly caused myself so much pain. And that's when I realized that I cared again. I took things day by day after that, rewarding myself for small feats, getting out of bed, interacting with others, making it through the whole day without putting myself down. For small accomplishments, I got small rewards, usually Dunkin's or a new book. When I reached larger milestones, to my mother's dismay, I got tattoos. This process continued to work for me, and I can proudly say that after that day of realizing I was not doomed to live a life of pain, I have remained safe. I moved into Highfields after I graduated high school in the summer of 2012. I was terrified at the thought of the amount of freedom and wasn't completely sure if I would succeed, but I did. With the help of Renee and Sarah, I began to find myself. I enrolled in community college. College was something that I had always dreamed of, but ended up being put on the back burner due to everything else going on. At Highfields, I would get my first job and become a certified lifeguard, things I had always wished for myself. I accomplished so much, but most importantly, I learned to believe in myself and to trust my instincts. The amount of support I got at Highfields was overwhelming. I never lived somewhere where every single staff truly cares about the well-being of the residents. With the amount of support I received, I was able to move on into their TASH program and get my own apartment. That year, I graduated with my associates and was proud to have my DMH worker, Sarah Golden, my family, and Renee and Sarah from Highfields watch me receive my diploma. I was accepted into UMass level. Understandably, I was excited, but I was most excited to call Renee and thank her for pushing me to go to school when I first arrived at Highfields. I'm almost done with my first year. While I am so proud of this accomplishment, the thing I am proud most of this year is becoming the first peer mentor at Highfields. It's been a change going from living there to working there, but it's something I am so honored to have the privilege to do. Highfields was more than just a group home and staff to me. It was a home, and it was like another family. The way I call my mom, who's the absolute rock in my life, with good news, is the same way I call Renee and Sarah. I hope that by sharing my journey with the current residents, they are able to realize their full potential as well, and use the resources to the best of their ability. Maya Angelou said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." I think if anything, what I went through made me stronger, but I wouldn't be here without the support I had received from so many. I have to thank my family for never giving up on me. My mom drove countless hours every week to come visit me, even if I only felt like seeing her for a few minutes. And my sister stayed home on weekends while she was in college to help me feel safe. They have sacrificed so much of their lives, and I am forever grateful. I have also been lucky enough to have my best friend of 10 years continue to stay by my side throughout everything, and who never gave up hope that one day things would be okay. I have to thank all the staff at Highfields for your belief in me and allowed me to believe in myself. And to Sarah Golding, the most dedicated worker, I have had the honor of getting to know you and learn from you. The amount of compassion you have showed me is beyond this world. And lastly, I would like to thank Fred, who was never afraid to tell me when I was wrong, but who also never missed an opportunity to praise and encourage me. Without his unending support and belief in me, I would not be standing here today. Thank you.